Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. I wanted to make a video because there was a guy in the early 80s in Mexico named Carlos Slim, and he was a magnate in Mexico. He was involved in one of the telecommunications companies, and I think he was one of the richest, I think he was the richest man in the world in the late 2000s, early 2010s. And what he did was, when the stock market crashed in like 1982 in Mexico, he went around and bought up just gobs and gobs of real estate and basically became the number one real estate owner too, and just was an absolute powerhouse for making money, and just had the most homes like ever. And I just see myself as becoming the new Carlos Slim and using some of my EOS and Bitcoin profits when everything crashes in the traditional space in America to be able to go in and scoop up dozens and dozens and dozens of properties for pennies on the dollar when everything is completely reset. We'll see different assets that have certain prices now. I've made a video one time called the extreme value proposition of one Bitcoin, where if you bought Bitcoin under 10K and then held it till it went to 100K, and at the same time a house started off being worth 100,000 and then it crashed and it was only worth 10,000, you could basically, your initial investment into Bitcoin type of thing would be able to get you a full house and still have 9/10 of your wealth left over. And I really see that being the opportunity here. And what I plan on doing is literally just going in and scooping up neighborhoods and just whole amounts of properties with EOS profits, and just really use them as rentals and rent them out affordably to people. I'm not going to price gouge or anything, because I understand how poor people are going to be after all this takes place. So a lot of times, if someone's just simply making a payment, you'll be good type of thing. I'm not too worried about tenants paying or anything. That's not necessarily the point. The point is to scoop up all of these assets while they're extremely dirt cheap, and then worry about it later. Especially if things start to reinflate, then you can start to sell off and just become a big boy. If you think about it, there's the head of the BIS, Augustin Carstens. He's actually from Mexico, and he's the same type of big boy player. He's actually the big boss, and those are the type of players that are involved when a global shift like this starts to take place. And something else is super interesting that a lot of people may not know is Mexico is actually run by just a bunch of 6'5" white guys in their Congress. If you look it up, I mean, it's just really bizarre how Mexico is really a quasi, it's like a power vacuum. There's so many different organizations and things going at the same time that there's just so many unique opportunities in a place like that. Well, I see the same type of thing happening elsewhere, especially in a place like America, where we've been the world reserve currency for so long and been at the top, that when it falls, and it has to fall, because in order to get everything on a level playing field, America's got to be absolutely destroyed, and it will. I believe that God has taken the hedge of protection off, and it's going to get absolutely dire very quickly. And so there will be opportunities here unlike anything we've ever seen. And a lot of people won't be able to take advantage of it because they'll be blindsided and hit as well. And so for people who are preparing now and investing in stuff like EOS and hard assets that will appreciate exponentially when a reset happens where price of assets are reset, you'll be able to take large amounts of money that you made with assets you paid very little for, and you'll be able to buy lots of assets for very cheap that normally would be extremely expensive. And using that type of play to be able to grow your wealth and parlay some of these investments into multi-generational wealth is the name of the game. And I'm trying to be the next Carlos Slim, because he took full advantage in the 80s, and it was 20 or 30 years later, he was literally the richest man in the world. So I think that kind of opportunity is extremely possible, and the window is closing super, super rapidly. But for those who take full advantage, it could turn out to be one of the best things in their whole life. So I just want to put that out there. I'm planning on being the new Carlos Slim. Stoffelbaker out.